As I've been thinking about times past in my life, I've truly just been in a good moment of appreciation for the times past that time that I've spent in Portugal, the time that I spent in Spain, even my time here in Canada, the time going through difficulties, the time going through great moments, the people I met, all those kinds of things. I'm just thinking and I'm just reminiscing in it. I'm just kind of remembering the good times that I had in my life and kind of what has helped me to become who I am now, what's helped me to be put in this current position that I'm in now. And it's giving me that reminder that negativity and positivity cannot exist at the same time. We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. So that's why I'm making this episode. I've talked about these types of things many times on this show, but it's true. We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And obviously for 365 podcasts, if you're watching daily episodes, you'll probably forget most of the stuff that I talk about. So I'm just kind of giving this reminder and just letting you know negativity and positivity cannot exist at the same time. Gratitude and fear and anger cannot exist at the same time. That's like it makes me think about that Tony Robbins thing, and that Tony Robbins thing is he looks at fear and anger as the two primary emotions that hurt us, the primary emotions that ruin us, that move us in a bad direction, and how gratitude is like the antagonist. It's the opposite emotion to them. They cannot exist at the same time. Negative thoughts and positive thoughts cannot exist at the same time. If you're focused on positivity, you're focused on faith, that's what's going to drive you. But if you're focused on fear and anger and envy and pride and in all sorts of negative things and just kind of self-deprecation, whatever it may be that's hurting you, you're going to be focused on that and that's going to hurt you. So you need to be reminded that I think whenever you're in a moment of negativity, whenever you're in a moment where you're quick to blame yourself, or you're blaming others, or you're just angry, or you're fearful of situations, remember the good times. Remember what there is to be grateful for. Remember that there is always stuff to be grateful for. That there is always a positive perspective to every negative moment, and every failure has many great lessons to learn from, and every difficult moment has a good that will come out of it. Every evil that exists, there's an equal and opposite good, and it's just as strong, if not stronger. I would go as far to argue that the good is stronger than the evil. And I've been reading a lot about the devil and how his tricks kind of enter into our minds, right? I've been kind of talking about that in recent episodes too. Fear is the number one thing that the devil uses to get to us. He stops us from taking action. He stops us from doing things that will be beneficial for us because he uses fear. Another big thing that he uses is the cycles of habits, and how he kind of gets into our minds to create bad habits within us, and then we become unable to break bad habits. So that can be like addictive behaviors, that can just be behaviors of isolation, and behaviors that relate to fear, and actions or inaction that is relating to fear. But always remember that in your life there's always stuff to be grateful for. There's always stuff to, you look at God and you look at faith and you look at belief and you look at all that God's blessed you with on this earth. There's always stuff to be grateful for. Even in my darkest moments this year, I've tried my best to be in moments of gratitude. Realize that, okay, this time it's difficult, it's tough, and maybe I should have endured it for longer. I look back at my life and I think about it in this way, but I still, to get through it, gratitude was very helpful. It was very helpful for me in my prayer to hone in on what am I grateful for? What are the good things in my life right now? Rather than focusing so much on the evil and on like the temptations and on the fears and on the tough times and on the anger. Because I had moments where I was super angry as well. And gratitude mitigated those feelings, truly. Like fear and anger, gratitude cannot exist in the same room. You cannot have it at the same time. So if you're in a moment of fear and anger, you're not grateful, right? You're truly just like in those heightened emotions. Your blood's boiling. You're anxious. You're sweating. Maybe your palms are sweaty. Whatever it may be, it becomes like a physical reaction. But you can change it when you do decide to sit down and sit there and give it up to God and be like, and be truly appreciative of your time that you've spent on this earth so far. That will help you. And those feelings, like, you'll start to see that you start to move away from those feelings, like just mentally in your mind. You start to make that shift in like any real moment towards gratitude, towards appreciation, towards love, and towards faith, towards your belief in God, towards what God's blessed you with. That can allow you to move away from those negative thoughts, and you can shift the negative into positive. But they can't exist at the same time, and at the same time you can shift positive to negative, right? You're thinking about good things, and then maybe some circumstance happens that just kind of knocks you down a little bit, and that causes you to focus on the negative things. So at any moment you can shift between negative and positive thoughts, but they cannot exist at the same time. But you need to tap into that level of thinking where you're conscious, right? You actually have to think about the situation. You have to catch yourself when you're acting in fear, or you're acting in anger, or you're failing to act because of fear, because of anger, because of any other negative emotion. Again, pride or envy or resentment, any type of thing like that. And realize gratitude and love and faith are the antagonistic feelings. And if you can lean more into those things, that will allow you to act in better ways. And it will allow you to appreciate your life more often. And it will allow you to feel better about yourself and about others and about circumstances, about all sorts of things. And you'll just be able to find that joy. You'll be able to find that peace. You'll be able to find that love. The first step is by giving it up to God, truly, by remembering God's word, by remembering his teaching, his instruction, and by acting truly based off of faith, not fear. That's the first step. But you have to improve the quality of your thoughts by thinking about positivity, not negativity, because negativity is very destructive, and it can truly lead to very, very terrible feelings, like really deep depression and really deep anxiety. And I feel like in my life, I talk about these things, and of course, I'm reiterating the same types of points that I've been talking about on the show for a while now, because those were the exact types of things I felt like I was falling into. Like I really would look back at my time, and I was really in a deep, like, depressive state. I was in like the deep mental darkness. I was literally fighting my demons for times throughout this year, and you could see it in the episodes I was posting back then as well. So positivity is important. It is important. You need to truly have a positive mental attitude to life. But how do you actually get there? It's by gratitude. And gratitude, I cannot stress enough how important of a feeling it is to feel, how important it is to truly appreciate the time. The reason why I kind of had this on my mind again, and we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. So, I'm just reminding you guys about the importance of positivity. Perhaps if you're watching this episode, it's just something better for you to consume, content that's better for you to consume, that allows you to think about better things than the unfortunate slop that's on the internet nowadays. Positivity is something truly important, and it will help you move forward. And faith, I obviously cannot stress enough how important faith is to overcome those feelings of fear, of course, in your life as well. And gratitude is the primary vehicle, the primary way you actually can get to that state of mental just peace in your days. It's tough. It doesn't happen overnight. And of course, the feelings of emotion, like heightened emotional state, it's hard. It's hard to overcome them. But if you can be conscious enough, be in control of your mind enough to think about the good rather than the evil, rather than the bad, it can allow you to move forward in your life as well. And of course, it will allow you to take action towards that good, towards that thing that you have to do in your life, rather than the evil, rather than the bad, rather than the inaction. So I'm just being reminded of that myself, because of course I've spent this time in Canada, like my whole story. If you didn't know my story yet, that like this is what's happening, right? Where I went on my journey. I was in another country. I was in Europe. I was in a completely different environment, and then I've had to come back to my old environment. I've just been feeling like I've been in a regression state. I've been feeling like it's a transitional period. I've been feeling like my dream has been leaving me, that I need to go and regroup and move into something different. But this morning, when I was just kind of thinking about times past, and sometimes I feel like I forget those very same times because I'm just in the moment of my time here, just because I'm not physically in that place anymore. So it's made me kind of forget about it. But I've been able to appreciate truly the times that I've had, the conversations I've had with people, the great moments I've shared with people, the memories I've made, the time I spent on the field, even just in the locker room, even just walking the streets of Portugal and of Spain, and talking to people that I truly do love and appreciate in my life. It's been it's been good to be grateful for those times. It's been good to give it up to God and be thankful. And in my prayer, I'm very thankful for these moments. And being able to remember those things and have the gratitude, it's made me feel better. It's made me feel a lot more energized and a lot more fired up to get into this day. And it's been more fired up to get into this life and to continue moving forward in my days, rather than having that fear and that anger. And I'm continuing to fight those feelings every day. And it is a daily fight. You will never really overcome it permanently, really. But if you can kind of build that kind of mental fortitude, that habit, that whenever you feel that negative feeling, you counteract it with a positive feeling. Whenever you have that negative thought, that thought of anger, that thought of fear, you counteract it with a positive thought, a thought of gratitude, a thought of appreciation, and a thought of love. that will truly be the formula, and it really is the foundation to allow you to just have a life filled with gratitude and love and striving and moving forward and actually taking action towards good things and avoiding all that negative stuff. So there's a lot of negativity in the world. We live in a world where it's very easy to see the negative, right? If you're consuming content online, it's very easy to look at negative stuff. It's very easy to fall into that type of stuff when it comes to the scrolling and all that kind of crap. It is truly about what you surround yourself with, the people you surround yourself with, the thoughts that you have in your mind every day. And you will have negatives and you will have positives, but if you can lean onto those positives, you will find that you can just keep on moving forward in your life. That'll be the driver, that'll be the fuel for you to truly go out there and achieve many amazing things. So I just wanted to make an episode just reminding you about that because that's what's on my mind right now. That's what I was thinking about. I was just reminiscing and appreciating the time that I had in my life. I'm sure there are many times that you had in your life as well that you can go and you can appreciate. And you can use that as a good thought to be like, hey, it's okay. Things are good. You're angry at certain situations, but that's fine. You've lived a great life. God's blessed you with so many amazing things. Sit there in gratitude and appreciate the time and let that be the fuel to move you forward. I'm just reminding you of that exact thought. So thank you for watching this episode of the 365 podcast. It was a bit of a shorter one today, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. I hope that this was a good lesson to you, that on this day, you watching this episode, this stuff can be a good driver for you to have a good day as well. So I hope that you do have a good day, and I hope that you continue to glorify God every day throughout your life. And any way that you can support the show in any way would truly be appreciated by leaving a like, by subscribing, following, leave a comment, watching some of the other episodes. Whatever you can do, I truly appreciate it. But even you just being here shows me that you are still here, that you care about these things, that this episode's spoken to you in some way, and that's all that matters to me. If I spoke to you in any way in this episode or any other of the episodes throughout the show so far, we're getting to the crunch time, really. We're getting to really the end of the show. So I really do appreciate you for following along. If you have followed along, if you are still here, thank you. Thank you for watching. That's all I got to say for today. Praise the Lord every day and focus on that gratitude. Don't remember that fear and anger and gratitude cannot be existing at the same time. So that whenever you're in a fearful moment, your life's kind of worse. But whenever you can really get into that grateful moment, you appreciate the life you have and you appreciate where you're at right now, you can be present with your day. Truly, that will unlock many amazing feelings. It'll unlock that peace and it will unlock the initiative to go and achieve many more amazing things in this life. Thank you for watching this episode of the 365 podcast. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.